Chapter 2. The 3 weeks before the tournament passed as he expected they would, extremely quickly. He was the constant butt of the jokes from Yekvan and his friends Liver, Chris and Valbiad. On the other hand, his training picked up a little. He even got a compliment from Shvash for his dance of veils, which, in his opinion, was fantastic. Shvash usually only rolled his eyes and barked orders. No, that was unfair. Aside from his actual family and Binter, Shvash was the only person who treated him like an adult, which he was thankful for. He only expected Hogni's best. Nothing more, nothing less. In the last week before the weekend of the tournament, it seemed as though Yekvan and his henchmen delighted in tormenting him even more than usual. They were always bragging about their training for the tournament, how far they were running every day, and how heavy they were starting to lift in the weights room at the local gym. The results were starting to be eye-catching. All of them were starting to get squared off at the shoulder, and their arms were starting to get noticeably bigger. This is where the name-calling took a darker turn. More than a few times, the boys would walk through him, shoulders deliberately ramming him into lockers or pushing him back through a door he had just walked through. Hogni shouted after them whenever they did it, but they just laughed at him, not even bothering to turn round and acknowledge his protests. During a particularly demanding session with Shvasht, where he was trying to master a new part of the Dance of Veils, Shvasht informed him that he would have learned the complete dance in time for his 13th birthday, the day of the succession. Right now, he was doing a complex form which involved him being able to juggle 4 implements simultaneously: clubs, balls, circus knives. Once again, Hogni couldn't help but think about how ridiculous he must look while doing the dance. Juggling. Really? I mean, juggling. And that was all it took for the clubs and other items to rain down around him on the floor, as the image of Yekvan and what he would say if he saw him came into his mind and cut across his concentration, as effectively as a pair of scissors across silk. "What's troubling you, Hogni?" the impassive face of his teacher inquired, without almost any visible movement. "I'm having trouble," Hogni confessed, and he finally told Shvasht about the increase in hassles he'd been receiving from Yekvan and his cronies over the past year, and how in the past few weeks it had escalated. Shvasht looked genuinely surprised. "So, they're all involved?" "Well, I will have a word with them." No, don't, Shvasht. "If you do that, my life won't be worth living, and it almost isn't now. You stepping in on my behalf will only pull me further down in everyone's eyes." "And you value the opinion of these boys, who believe that simply because they're bigger and more aggressive than you, they can throw their weight around?" "No, I mean, yes, look, I don't want it to get any worse, if you know what I mean." Shvasht smiled sympathetically at him and said, "Let me tell you something." "What, Shvasht?" "There's a reason why you're getting so much trouble for them, and from Yekvan in particular." Hogni listened intently. When Yekvan was very small, his father had just started to make his first millions, and was very proud and boastful. "Nothing's changed there then," Hogni said, with resentment, thinking of Yekvan's father. He was a large, brooding man, prone to boasting and gratuitous displays of wealth. He had always looked down on Hogni when he was very small. He had even lived next to Yekvan. If Hogni and Yekvan had ever tried to play together, which they did effortlessly as children do, Yekvan's father would come and take Yekvan inside. Then, when he'd made enough money to move into a new house in a more exclusive neighbourhood, Hogni had not seen Yekvan again until they started school at 7 years old. Since then, all attempts at friendship had been resisted on Yekvan's part. One of the things Yekvan's father used to boast about was that his son would be the light bearer, that he would take the Faroe Islands even further in terms of prosperousness, and be a great protector. Most believed him. It was the time of the choosing, and his son was the perfect age to put forward. Then you happened. The stone bonded with you, and all of his boasts flew back in his face like rotten eggs. Even though to my knowledge no one's ever mentioned it to him, he still burns with anger and shame. And that is why he won't let us play together." I was a reminder, Hogni said. Suddenly, a lot of things seemed to make a lot more sense. Yes, you were a reminder of the legacy he had promised his son. That, in his mind, you stole from him. So you think it's him that's putting Yekvan up to torment me? No, Yekvan probably believes he would be better in the role than you. He has his father's arrogance and self-belief. Your succession to the role of the light bearer and your performance of the Veil of Tears at the ceremony is the culmination of 11 years of preparation. It's like your ordination. In fact, were you a priest, that is exactly what it would be like. It's when you will truly take on the mantle of light bearer, and that will be a bitter pill for both Yekvan and his father to swallow. There is prestige attached to the post, no matter how hard they try to make you feel bad about your training and the tabard. You'll be the protector of the Faroe Islands. Don't let them undermine you, and remember what I said. No matter what, do not get involved in any fights. I am the light bearer, and the title and the role must be respected and held in high esteem. Hogni finished smiling. Good, said Svasht. Now warm down. Hogni groaned, but he set about his task with a smile on his face and a renewed sense of purpose.